Hello guys, Dezaras Prime here, back for another review after quite a long hiatus. This is actually a reshoot because my other reviews, my initial ones had lags and problems, so I'm reshooting. And I'm trying to get through everything that I put in the first one, even though this is actually coming after the reshoots of the last ones. Confused much? New intro, thought I'd go for something different. Yeah, back on Halloween, my hard drive crashed, and I was able to get all the data and everything off it, thank God, because there was a lot of stuff. But what wasn't reinstalled was my hard webcam and microphone drivers. They worked fine. I could natter away on Skype and MSN all I wanted on there, but when it came to offline work like what I'm doing now, it wasn't there for some reason. And it took me ages until Bradley's mother suggested maybe check the Acer website. That was last Tuesday. So I've been going for 2 months without a webcam, trying to figure it all out, downloading all these other drivers, and then she goes, oh, go on the other website, go on the official website, get it from there. And it worked. Because I'm an idiot sometimes. This review is chronologically the first of my reviews. It is RiD Optimus Prime. And this guy is lovely. He is a fire truck. Bit of BG. Back in the day, 2000, I think it was. They had the plan this series called Transtech, but that got cancelled, and they needed something to bridge the gap between Beast Machines and Armada. So they imported what the Japanese called car robots, and they dubbed over it and called it Robots in Disguise here and in the US. It's quite obvious in some respects that it came first from Japan because of the Japanese markings on the cab and the fact it says Cybertron, which I'm guessing would suggest Autobot because, you know, the Japanese call the Autobots Cybertrons, the Decepticons Destrons, their planet was Sabertron. If you notice, there's one tyre missing. I got this cheap, it was 20 quid from Vintage Toy Shop in Leicester. The reason the price was so down is because it came from a guy who had autism or something, and he had a habit of painting his Transformers and stuff, and adding little additions and stuff, paint apps to it and that, and you know, the ones I've got, it works. There's some gold there, and it's on both sides, and it's also, if you look carefully, it is in there as well. There's some gold. This thing holds together pretty well, considering it is something that has to be taken apart to transform it properly. I can hold it like that, and it's pretty sturdy and robust. I'll show you a quick example of another custom job that this fella did. Armada Galvatron with added gold pieces on his shoulders. I think the head was originally gold, but the shoulder panels weren't, and on his feet and round the sides there, and the back as well. There is some gold with it already on it, the missiles and this piece here. So it's not intrusive. I mean, credit to him, he did a good job with it. There's already gold. He added some more gold to it. But I'm not going to review Armada Galvatron. I am coughing my guts up, and I'm reviewing RiD Optimus Prime. Now, another thing that's pretty cool on this is the ladder and the fire hose. I'm going to bring this up a bit. On the top, there is a little red button, and there's some missiles in there as well. I It's missing a couple of missiles, but I can live without that because I'm not a missiles guy, and I'll explain more. Well, actually, I have explained more in my Ultra Magnus review, but I chronologically will explain more in my Ultra Magnus review, so that's coming next. Even though it's happened, I'm going to shut up now. So, red button on the top releases the fire hoses, which they shoot out a lot of water. Optimus Prime, for all his energon needs and chasing down energon and stuff, has a lot of water. A hell of a lot. So much so that he can shoot the water all the way into space and shoot a bomb into space and skybite into space as well. That is quite the ejaculation, if you will. I can't think of a better word, I'm sorry. Now also, it has in it, if you lift it up and pull that down, let's try to figure this out. Pull these down as well, the side bits. And you can also extend it. So, you know, even bigger water cannon. And there's a little tab on the inside just there. You push it inwards and it releases the missiles. Now, I may be wrong, but I think in the Takara version, the when you push that tab, the missiles automatically deployed out of the missile holders, but they don't in this. And that's good, because Bradley likes to play with these, and he would have probably lost them all. So I'll put his missile things back, and we shall get down to the transformation. Actually, I'll put the missile before I lose it. Sorry about that. Too much of a leg shot there, I think. Yeah, let's put these back now. I'm a proper slut today, aren't I? Okay, so he is there in his fire truck mode, which is pretty damn sweet. His tyres have got stuck, and this bit's popping out. But at least nothing else popped out. Yeah, he goes brum brum very well, despite the missing tyre. Took him to auto assembly, couldn't find a spare tyre. But, you know, I'm not going to cry over it. I wasn't going to buy a full Optimus Prime for the sake of one tyre and 2 missiles. At that point, I might do that in the future. He has sounds and lights. It's a good siren, especially when you consider Armada Red Alert that a friend of mine bought from Auto Assembly, and his siren on Red Alert just seemed to sound like Red Alert was saying the siren noises himself. It was as if they couldn't put a siren in, they were just like, ah, fuck it, you just say it when you do the sound bites. So it was like, Red Alert, woo, 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 pretty much. I think I sounded more like a siren there than Red Alert did in the toy. Good lighting as well. Let's just shift that out of the way. Fire! There you go. He shoots. Autobots, transform! Autobots, transform. Optimus Prime, maximize! That was a mistranslation when they did the sound bites. Optimus Prime, maximize, not transform. Probably because there was Predacons and shit in RiD. I think that's it for sound. Yeah, we'll stop there because this is my second favourite Optimus Prime behind the Revenge of the Fallen Leader Optimus Prime. And like the Revenge of the Fallen Leader Optimus Prime, he don't half go on. Okay, so we're going to transform this, and we need to first remove the unnecessary parts. So, pull that out, get the tyres stuck again, do the same on the other side, and then these two things are, right, okay, it might be easier if we take it apart there, and we'll put that to the side for now. And then these things, they just slide out. Pretty simple. Yeah, so there's another show of the gold stuff, which isn't offensive, it's not intrusive, and it doesn't bother me one bit. I'm just showing the differences between the actual toy and the version I have. There's more on there as well. Now this is some sort of battle station thing. When I first got the toy, because I hadn't watched RiD in a long time, I've only recently watched some of it again, I wondered what the hell this was. Turns out it's a little battle station hiding place thing where, you know, Optimus Prime shoots Koji out his ass and he goes straight into it somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where Koji would be hiding, but, you know, he'd be somewhere in there. Unfortunately, you know, you can't do the cool thing because these things get in the way. You can't do the cool thing what he did in the show where he shot his giant fist into Megatron. I mean, it could go across, but it would stop there. That's it. So that is a no-no. But we'll leave that in battle station mode for now, and we shall get to transforming Optimus Prime into his first stage, because he has many. Okay, so got these bits, just fold them round like that, and then you need to pull down and down and keep pulling down, and you've got that. And so you need to separate his legs and turn them around that way. So these white panels are on the back. You lift up said white panels, and his feet are in there. You just simply do that, pull down, that, and pull down, and get them into position. There. So his legs are, for now, sorted. And then you bring up the lights that do add some good translucency and some good effect, and just pull at the shoulders, pull them around, slide that down. It's a bit awkward because it slides down but the arm doesn't, so just slide it down, turn the forearms around, bend at the elbows unless you want him having completely straight arms, push down. That is his first robot mode. It does not end there. Let's put his little gun in with the little wheel on top that, you know, I don't understand. Now this, in and of itself, is a pretty cool looking figure. He's got good articulation. He's even got movable ears. Don't know why. His head goes a full 360. He's got nice, instead of yellow, he's got gold eyes. He's like golden eye. Got to make sure he don't run into James Bond. And he's got a nice metallic effect on his chest as well. I think it looks kind of Beast Wars-ish. His chest does, you know, a bit Optimus Primal like. His arms can go all the way around like that. They bend at the elbows and they also go out. His wrists they are posable, his wrists, but it's getting in there because of the back forearm panel that is the problem. His legs can go forward, they bend at the knees. There's some flexibility within his feet, which is cool. His legs also go out. So that is his points of articulation. His waist goes up if you want a super skinny Prime, but you know, his head stays down. His waist also turns. However, that would be hampered by the back thing. more so when it's down like that. But, you know, in and of itself, this is a good figure. You need the rest of it really to maximise its potential, but, you know, on its own, it's still good. Obviously, in vehicle mode, it wouldn't look so good without the rest of it. Now, that's only phase 1. I'm going to lie you down because you're being a bitch to stand. Phase 2, you take some bits off the battle station. Let's just break it apart a bit, because these side bits are required later. More gold bits on there, you've seen them now, I think. Just take the ladder off, which also has his head and a part of his torso. Keep all that together, I don't want to lose that. Now these can be both his feet and his shoulder cannons. What you want to do with these is just, for now, pull these out. Get them into a position that is satisfactory to your needs. Like that. And then what you do, you take Mr. Prime, and there are 2 pegs on his shoulder. What you do is you have these bits facing out. And then you put them on like so. Now he has big fucking shoulder cannons. They don't fire, but if I was walking down the street and I saw him coming at me with this, I would run fast. And I haven't run fast in a long time. Now, but that's not all. Because these giant fuck-off fists that I mentioned, just to transform them, you just pull down, 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 and around. You're basically just turning it inside out. Down, 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 around. Like so. Now, I've shown you that, but I haven't actually. You need to open them up to put them on. His forearms. 2 pegs on his forearms. 2 ports there. They just simply tab in. And they go in like that. So, same again. Tabs, pegs, holes, bits, pieces, and they... Come on, you bitch. In, bish, bash, bosh. There you go. Job is most definitely a good one. So now he ain't gonna shut up. And yeah, let's see if I can get this into position a bit more. Straighten it out a bit. There. Big fuck off shoulder cannons, and if for some reason you dodge them, he has big fists to punch you in the face with. Pretty impressive. But that ain't it. Now we're going to take these off. And we're going to just put Optimus Prime to the side again. Because now, what you're going to do is push those forward. Well, no, you're not actually. What you need to do is push the wheels in and push forward. Wheels in, push forward. Now, an interesting thing, just to prove how much even more Japanese this toy is, that ties on inside out, is his tyres. You won't be able to see it. I'll try and show you. You can't see it, but his tyres say Fire Convoy. It's more apparent on the big ones, but I tried that before in the first cut and it didn't work. Okay, so these are going to be his feet. Now his big Victory Saber type boots. So you need to open up the panel on the top, and however way you can, I'll just use my little finger, you pull out the shin guards. So you pull that up, pull out the shin guards. Then what you do, inside, under where the shin guards were, here's another peg. And underneath, 2 holes. Don't use the screw one, it's the one before the screw one. And then you just slot it in, and then there's a peg on the back of the shin guard, a hole in his shin, and you just do that. Just plug it in. And there you have his big feet. Now, this guy, despite having big ass forearms and big ass feet, does not look out of proportion, in my opinion. He still looks good as is. Now, that's the thing with this toy. Ultra Magnus can look a bit disproportionate sometimes. This guy doesn't, no matter what you stick on him and where. He still looks pretty damn sweet and in scale. But, you know, again, it doesn't end there. We're going to push these down. And we're going to pull out his forearms. Shoulders. I have no knowledge whatsoever of the human anatomy. Well, there you go. Okay, these little things are going to be his shoulder guards. Now, you could put them that way so the Autobot symbol is facing, but I think the proper way is so the bars around there are around the front. You've got a hole on either side of his shoulder and around the back, and there are 2 little pegs on the inside there, see, near the screw. There you go. You're just going to basically slot them in and align them. I'll push the shoulders back in soon. Again, still looks pretty badass like that. But that ain't all, children. No, it isn't. I'm going to take this piece, the big ladder piece, and first of all you might need to do that. Lift up his shoulder, his torso. Underneath there, just unpeg that. Now you need to align those 3 holes, which is that one, and that one, with the 3 above his chest. This can be quite awkward at times. I would strongly suggest getting the ladder out of the way. Now, let's get those things aligned. It's the grey one, goes at the back, and the 2 front ones just, you know, sit at the front. I'm actually going to remove his shoulder pieces for now, just so I can show you the ladder effect, because it won't fit on with the ladder with the shoulder pieces. And underneath there are some tabs that fit into some holes on his chest, which secures it in more. And then you just push the waist down. Now I don't usually have the ladder in this position, so it's a case of that. And there you have him with his ladder. Thing is, I can't seem to get the shoulder guards to fit properly. But when you've got the shoulder guards on, you just push it back in. See if I can get it in. I've got it on, and it's not too bad, but I haven't been able to push it in properly because of the thing around the back obstructing it. Shut up. I'm just going to turn this around, push that shoulder back in. Turn the ladder around, lift that bit up, and pull his fucking head off. Damn. But there you have it. There is Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime in all his combined glory. And he does look pretty glorious. He's nice and chunky, he's not a skinny little bitch. Bits come off, but bits have places afterwards. And there's even like the little makeshift battle station for when you're not using those bits. It's pretty sweet. Articulation pretty much the same, you know. You just got to be a bit more careful with it because it can be prone to coming apart if you're not too careful. His little gun doesn't fit in his hands, I don't think, and I don't even fucking care. He doesn't need it. It's a big. It doesn't even fit in the shoulder bit properly. It just kind of sits there. It's not very tight, and it, you know, it just. You don't need the gun. It's a big fucking. He's got a big ladder. He can smack you around the face with, and big fists and massive feet that he could stamp on you with, and you wouldn't have a hope in hell. But this is RiD Optimus Prime. I will be reviewing Ultra Magnus next. I've already reviewed it, but because this is a reshoot. But in order, it will be this guy. Then I'll put up the Ultra Magnus review, and then after that, I will do the Omega Prime review because I keep getting that name wrong for some reason. But yeah, so this has been Dezaras Prime with my first review of the year 2013. You shall see me next time.